She humiliates employee with Down syndrome. The store owner arrives and ends her fast. The fluorescent lights buzzed faintly in the cramped aisles of Miller's Grocery, a small store nestled in the heart of a diverse neighborhood. It was late afternoon, and the air was thick with the scent of fresh bread and the hum of daily life. Customers shuffled through, their carts squeaking, their voices a low murmur. At the end of aisle 5, Jamal Carter swept the floor with steady, deliberate strokes. His dark skin glistened faintly under the lights, and his wide, earnest smile, his trademark, lit up the space despite the mundane task. Jamal, a 22-year-old with Down syndrome, had worked at Miller's for 2 years. To him, the store was more than a job. It was a sanctuary, a place where he felt valued. But not everyone saw Jamal that way. Karen Mitchell, a regular customer in her late 40s, stormed down the aisle, her heels clicking sharply against the linoleum. Her face was twisted in irritation, her blonde hair pulled tightly into a bun that seemed to mirror her rigid demeanor. In her hand, she clutched a crumpled receipt. "You," she snapped, pointing at Jamal. "You messed up my order last week. I asked for organic apples and you gave me the cheap ones. Do you even understand what organic means?" Jamal froze, his grip tightening on the broom. His smile faltered, but he tried to respond, his words slow and careful. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I can help you find." "Don't talk back to me." Karen's voice rose, drawing the attention of nearby customers. "People like you shouldn't be working here. You can't even do your job right. It's ridiculous they let you near customers." Her words were venomous, laced with a cruelty that cut deeper than the accusation. A few shoppers gasped, but most stood frozen, unsure whether to intervene. The air grew heavy, the tension palpable. Jamal's face crumpled, his eyes darting to the floor. He wasn't just hurt, was humiliated. The word "people like you" hung in the air, a double-edged sword slicing at both his disability and his race. He tried to speak again, but his voice caught, and he looked away, his hands trembling on the broom. From the next aisle, a soft voice broke the silence. "Hey, that's not fair." It was Mia, a teenage girl with braided hair and a backpack slung over one shoulder. She was a regular, often stopping by after school to buy snacks. Mia stepped closer, her eyes blazing with defiance. "He's doing his job. You don't get to talk to him like that." Her words were bold, but her hands shook slightly, betraying her nervousness. Karen turned on her, sneering. "Stay out of this, kid. This is between me and him. Or do you think you're some kind of hero?" The crowd murmured, some nodding in agreement with Mia, others whispering about Karen's audacity. The tension escalated, a powder keg ready to explode. Jamal, still clutching the broom, took a deep breath. "I'm sorry," he said again, his voice barely above a whisper. "I didn't mean to mess up." His sincerity was heartbreaking, but Karen wasn't done. She stepped closer, her voice dropping to a cold, mocking tone. "You shouldn't be here. You're a liability. Look at you, you can't even defend yourself." The words hit like a slap, and Mia's face flushed with anger. "You're the problem here, not him," she shouted, her voice cracking. A few customers nodded, but others looked away, uncomfortable with the confrontation. The store felt like a pressure cooker, the air thick with unspoken judgments and simmering outrage. Then, the bell above the store's entrance jingled, and a new figure entered the scene. Mr. Harold Miller, the store owner. A wiry man in his 60s with gray hair and a no-nonsense demeanor, Harold had built Miller's Grocery from the ground up. He'd hired Jamal not out of pity but because he saw potential in Hema work ethic and kindness that shone through. Harold's eyes narrowed as he took in the scene. Jamal's hunched shoulders, Karen's aggressive stance, and Mia's defiant glare. What's going on here? Harold's voice was calm but carried an edge that silenced the crowd. Karen straightened, sensing an opportunity to justify herself. This employee, she said, gesturing at Jamal, is incompetent. He messed up my order, and I'm tired of dealing with people who can't do their jobs. Harold's gaze shifted to Jamal, who looked up, his eyes glistening but resolute. Jamal, Harold said gently, did you make a mistake with her order? Jamal nodded slowly. I think so, Mr. Miller. I'm sorry. I'll fix it. Harold's expression softened, but when he turned to Karen, his eyes were steel. Mistakes happen, but what I just heard wasn't about a mistake. It was about you humiliating my employee in front of my customers. His voice grew sharper. Jamal is one of the hardest workers I've got. He's honest, he's kind, and he's part of this community. You don't get to walk in here and tear him down because of a bag of apples. Karen's face reddened. I'm a paying customer. I have rights. And so does he. Harold shot back, pointing at Jamal. You don't get to decide who's worthy of respect based on how they look or how they think. You want to shop here? You treat everyone with dignity. If you can't do that, there's the door. The crowd erupted in murmurs, some clapping softly. Karen's mouth opened, then closed, her confidence crumbling under Harold's unwavering stare. She grabbed her purse and stormed out, her heels echoing in the now silent store. The bell jingled as she left, and the tension began to dissipate. But the twist came from an unexpected source. As the crowd dispersed, an older woman, Mrs. Clara, stepped forward. She was a quiet regular, always in a faded shawl, rarely speaking. Her hands trembled as she approached Jamal. I owe you an apology too, she said softly, her voice thick with emotion. I've been coming here for years, and I never stood up for you when I heard others whisper. I've been a coward. Her eyes met Jamal's and she smiled faintly. You're a blessing to this store, young man. Jamal's face lit up, his smile returning brighter than ever. Thank you, ma'am, he said, his voice steady now. Mia, still standing nearby, grinned and gave Jamal a playful nudge. Told you you're awesome, she said. Harold clapped Jamal on the shoulder. You did good, son. Keep sweeping. We've got a store to run. Jamal nodded, picking up his broom with renewed energy. The customers returned to their shopping, but the air felt lighter, as if the store itself had exhaled. In the days that followed, word of the incident spread. Customers began leaving notes for Jamal Small, handwritten messages of encouragement taped to the counter. Mia started a campaign on social media, sharing Jamal's story and calling for kindness. The store became a hub of connection, a place where people didn't just shop but shared stories, laughed, and rebuilt trust. The confrontation wasn't just a moment. It was a turning point. It reminded the community that courage, whether from a teenager like Mia, a store owner like Harold, or even a quiet bystander like Mrs. Clara, could shift the tide. Jamal, at the center of it all, kept sweeping, his smile a quiet rebellion against cruelty. What do you think? Where do we draw the line between standing up for justice and letting prejudice divide us?